reading on your backstory, with your dad.
Yeah.
There's so much there, right? But really the one question that constantly, kind of comes up to the top of my mind is the envelope, right? That, your dad wrote down the 4 instructions. From what I can tell, there wasn't any information passed along what those 4 instructions were. The envelope sounds like it was thrown away. Did you give your dad any crap about what the heck?
Yeah, why don't I have the envelope? How come when they interview me for Oregon Wine History Archive, I can't say, I have the envelope?
Right. I mean, that'd be amazing to have the envelope up here on the wall or something.
Well, it was such an afterthought. So it all started with the envelope. That's how our path into wine started. We had moved from Hawaii to Oregon, and this is in 1978. And yes, because as I recall, the Trailblazers had just won. So we thought we were, moving to basketball country.
Right.
And anyway, so we moved in 1978, and my dad was a software engineer, and he started enjoying wine just for fun, just to appreciate it. And one year for an anniversary present, my mom gave him a present of a wine tasting class with Matt Kramer, and then he just started from there taking wine tasting class. So he was just appreciating it as a consumer, and he was always in the garden just for fun. And a neighbor said, I see you're always in the garden. I have some extra, there's sticks from this guy named David Lett. He gave me some grapevines, and I have some extra, so why don't you just stick them in the ground and see what happens?
Right.
So he did that, and 3 years later, my dad said, so I think it's ready. What do I do? And the neighbor said, oh, winemaking is really easy. There are only 4 simple steps. You can just make the wine. And my dad had just gotten the mail, so he had the bills. He had the mail in his pocket, and he pulled a bill out and just said, what are the 4 simple steps? And wrote down the 4 simple steps. And that started the pathway to wine. So our journey really was that he started as a home hobbyist just for fun. And when I was growing up, I always helped him in the garage and with our tiny backyard vineyard.
Right.
And never thought that it would become anything other than something that was enjoyable. But he did that for 20 years, and after doing that for 20 years, he called me at my job, which I was working in biotechnology in San Francisco, and he said, so I want to start a winery. And I said, that's great, you should go do that, you're so passionate about it, it's terrific.
Right.
And he said, well, I think I would want a partner. And so we started it together. I had certainly never had wine on my radar, but I didn't think he'd do it unless I did it with him. So we started it together almost 19 years ago, 2003.